Yeah, no, I did it again, right? I did it again. I did it again. Greetings and welcome back once again. And again, talking for 4 minutes with no mic. You can't hear me because I wasn't added to the stream. I pray everybody's doing well. I don't like when I you hear me now. If you can hear me now, go ahead and let me know in the box. Let me double check that I can be heard. I don't like I forgot to add myself to the stream. I saw that my microphone was on, but I wasn't added to the stream. Again, so let me start all over. Bridges are well, just join us, like, subscribe, all that lovely good stuff. I wanted to say concerning this Tabitha Brown controversy, many things, which is just to see how many melanated content creators. I usually don't like calling names, but I was going to do another stream on a content creator I saw last night. I think it falls in the right space where we will have the information right in front of us, not do our due diligence, narrative to foot our predetermined. I'm just going to say it in no uncertain terms. It's wrong, right? This particular lady in the Cape, and like I said, I came across her because vegan space. I have vegan food business. She's big in this plant-based space. She blew up in this space, and is where she's getting a lot of the fuel as she's climbing the ladder of notoriety. And you know, so I came across her a few years ago. There's some people because of the Whitney, the what's the one name? Wendy Williams controversy, who maybe knew or don't know the backstory. And because the story is so hot, temptation is to just gloss over it and then come up with our own narratives. That is very dangerous because we can do injury and harm other people's reputation because we don't take the time to do diligence. And this is one of the reasons for many years that I've been on YouTube that I step away from just only jumping on trending stories. Because once you put stuff out into the atmosphere, it may be people like, yeah, yeah, rah, rah, rah. They're cheering you on. I just want to make sure I can be heard before I continue. They're cheering you on, but when you have to be held accountable for the stuff that you've said, or it doesn't age well, yourself walking back or digging your heels in, depending on what type of personality you have. So we talk about building community, but the quality of information that we are put out there about other people so very haphazardly, so very carelessly, I think it does more damage than good. Disheartening when people who often talk about building community does it, right? They talk about building community. I just want to make sure I could be heard. It could be heard. They talk about building community. Oh, we should build community. I'm gonna save that for another day, right? I did a video many years ago talking about righteousness is not righteousness, and I still maintain my stance. So, anywho, this woman lives her life as an open book. This is why I feel an open book test. That means you just weren't even trying, right? I tuned into some streams yesterday, Cynthia G stream, listen to TKO stream, just to hear what other content creators are saying around the subject, right? Um, yeah. Sometimes we are so much, I will say this, into our own personal narratives that that is the only lens by which we view our reality. I started by saying, I don't wish any ill to this woman or her family. That's number one. We hardly even see families who can halfway, we theorize about families and what they're supposed to look like and how they're supposed to act and how you're seeing somebody clearly striving. It even may not be up to our standards, but they're striving to hold things together. We have all of these other things that we want to keep on what it is that we're seeing. So some of what is going, I sound like I'm rambling, is ODing. It's just going too far. But that, um, besides all of that extracurricular stuff, I did want to go into some of the observations that people are making. The reality is her life has been an open book. You may be right on some of the observations. There's nothing that has been hidden. So I want to share some of the things that I came across when I was watching from time to time, and I was like, that's interesting. So hopefully I can add something factual to the conversation so that we can, like someone asked, why didn't she buy her mother a car? But if you're listening along the way, you would know her biological mother died. right? So it's stuff like this that will make you be like, huh? Okay. It's not caping. People say, oh, you're defending the person. It's like, no, you're not defending the person, but you do want a positive reinforcement. What's going on? You do want when someone is sharing a story with you want it to be factual, because sometimes we take that to our dinner conversation, we take that to make examples, and you're running with disinformation and misinformation. I think the content creators need to be very, you know, mindful that that energy, even if people are not suing you and all of this stuff, that energy that you put out there will definitely that. Now, for me to add just a little bit of facts, I like facts, to the conversation, I'm going to share a few things that I came across. It's going to come from her own page, okay? Because I said the woman has been living her life in book. One of the things that I mentioned in one of those chats is that to get successful, you have to sacrifice something or some, and they've sacrificed their privacy, a level of, you know, she has basically put everything out on Front Street, and that may be turning a lot of people off concerning the way she told the whole world that she was going to retire her husband. But if you follow along, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. So we're gonna listen to this one first quickly. I have a timestamp. I know some people might run with it, but hey, you know, you wouldn't want anybody running around with misinformation about your life, would you? Where did I put my pen? Um, so this one is called the show that they have, which you can learn most about their marriage if is that's what interests you. And if you want to have your conversation based on facts, they have a show that they call Taboo for a while. October the 14th, 2019, right? Over 124,000 views, therefore they're not hiding this. He seems more uncomfortable than she does. Let me know if you can see my screen. He seems more uncomfortable. Okay, you can't see the screen. Hold up. Let me add the screen. Add the screen to the stream. What's going on here? Add to stream. 212. Oh, I know. Let me move. Come on, Mona, get it together. Get it together. Get it together. Okay, why I have this overlay, but it's not letting me see my screen. Oh, there it is. All right, boom, we're back. Okay, so this is a video that they did, what, 3 years ago? And now you're gonna listen for some information here to add to a lot of the theory. You know, people will make up a theory quick on your behind. At least when, you know, I'll be like, yo, I'm up a theory, I'm hypothesizing. But come on, man. This is an open test. This is an open book test. I'm just a stick for this kind of stuff. I don't know why, but I am. So this one, the daughter is asking a host of questions, one of which is we're going to listen to now.
All the good questions. Okay, Dad. I'm getting all. Dad. Mm. Come on, give it to me. Did you ask for the debug? At what point did you decide to make it official? There ain't no question of what.
So they're having different questions that they're asking. Their daughter's asking, at what point did you decide to make it official? Remember, she says that they've been married for 23 years or however many years they've been married, a long time, right? Since they were young. They've known each other since children, right? And this may be the relationship that you're seeing, the connection that you're seeing between the two. He goes on.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to marry Mom? Um, that's a complicated question, choice. You're giving your mom all these real easy questions, and then you're gonna come at me with these complicated questions. All right, okay. I got a yeah. Decided when it actually came after we went to Hope Rush's wedding. A friend of ours, a close friend of ours. Because we was already engaged. Yeah, we was already engaged, and for years. Your mom at one point was pressuring me to get married, and then it just hit me while we were at the wedding that she hadn't mentioned it.
I had. He's giving very key details. He's saying the mother used to pressure him to get married. They got together very young. They engaged for years. This sounds like Ring. What is it? What's the name of the new show? Something Another Ring. This sounds like one of those situations, right? So let's continue to listen.
while. And when we left, I just knew she was gonna be back in on the subject. You know, she was gonna be pressuring me, and she didn't. So I waited a few days, and then it kind of just bothered me that she didn't bring it up. So I just asked her, and her response was,
We gotta get married. I'm all right.
her response was, yeah, it didn't concern her anymore because all she really wanted to do was to be with me. And then I wanted to get married because that meant the world to me. Yeah, I mean,
then like not before.
I mean, because he had gave me a ring and stuff. Then it was just like, well, we gonna get married or we ain't gonna get married. And then after a couple years, I was just like, you know what? It don't really matter at this point. If we gonna be together,
yeah.
it's all right. So I stopped asking. And then, honey, when I said it don't matter. And he actually got a little attitude. What you mean?
Okay, so she was a little pushy and resistant. So this seems like this has been a theme. Look for themes throughout the relationship. They're very young. He engages her. They're teenagers. They're young 20s. He has a child before her. There's another person that says he had a baby on her. Into their narrative, he had the child before they actually got together officially, and therefore that child wasn't like on her. These are just, I'm not her PR press. I'm just using this situation as an illustration of how we disparage one another in the community without even the decency of factor. Let me go ahead. So this kind of one is being aggressive, one would say. Some people note it as being aggressive, domineering. This looks like it existed early on in their relationship. Now, when asked to describe her partner, let's jump to the next question for the time.
Mama said, girl.
Protector.
Mm.
Wait.
Yeah, choice.
But I just want to say it is good to see the melanated man and the melanated woman together, laughing together, not necessarily arguing, badgering one another, fighting. I just want to say personally, I speak about issue community not because I like speaking about issues, is because I want to see improvement. So you can't at one hand say you want to see improvement and you don't have any examples, and then when you do have examples, they're not the perfect example. Of course, they're not going to be, but at least it's an example. At least it's something that you can work with to some degree. To some degree.
What your mama said, girl.
Protector.
Mm. Mm. Give her another one. Give her another one. Give her another one.
I want to think of 3 good words.
Yeah,
I really meant fine though.
Okay. Yeah, we got it.
Make her throw up, man.
Protector.
To what people are making note of, she's asked to describe him in 3 words. The first one she says is protector, but she doesn't. No, the first thing she says is fine, right? The next, and I saw people making note of, I mean, why are we going to these levels, man? It was on Cynthia G's stream where they were talking about how the woman looks. I didn't think the woman looked any kind of way. And that the husband was fine. They matched. They matched together. Like sometimes when you've been together for that long, you match. This isn't any shade to anybody, but it's just like sometimes we project. This is all I want to say. Sometimes we project where it doesn't necessarily need to be. But she's struggling to find the word for provider. She doesn't say provider, but she does give him protector, and she gives him fine. So let's listen to the third one.
And
yeah, go ahead. Come on now.
Okay, see.
I want to think of a good word.
Nah, just come on.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come.
Loyal.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
She thought long and hard about that. Don't know where she pulled that one out from, but loyal. So they're in a home. They're taken care of to a certain degree. But she didn't put provider in there with protector. That may be something that was going on within their relationship. And every relationship has its issues. So that was interesting. But let's listen to what he says about her, and then I'm going to skip forward.
Dad.
Give Dad that one.
Describe mom in a single word.
Amazing.
Oh, that was good. Mhm.
Choice, cut it out now.
Okay.
Okay, she looks like she loves him in the way that she knows how to love, and he looks like he loves her in the way. I've seen people who don't love each other. They look like they love one another. They're not afraid to show PDA. They're not afraid to be vulnerable. I mean, for me, they're very vulnerable for the public, but that's their choices. But again, I'm trying to figure out why so many people are trying to make this like a I don't know. Let's just go. But the next thing that was alarming, I must say, another thing that was alarming was this point right here. We're going to go to 19 max. Who wears the pants? Wait, let me make sure. Got my little time marker so we can save time.
You read bed today.
I
Okay.
was on my way.
This is the last question for
I thought we already had
Hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're
I
not
thought I get
done.
the last question.
That was it. This is the last question. Can I finish? I'm doing the question. This is the last question for the both of y'all. And on the count of 3, you're going to answer at the same time.
Okay.
Okay? Who wears pants in the relationship?
I do.
One,
Oh.
2.
You saw the first reaction. Let me rewind it. So he's aware that she's going to be saying something that, and the first reaction that he does is he goes to cover her mouth. And before she can think, before her brain could process, she spits out, I do. They're going to try to clean it up in a little later. I think this is what some people may be noting, like that she's more aggressive in the relationship. And we see that in the way she maneuvers. This may be just her personality, but he has 20 something years to be able to have decided whether or not he wanted to deal with it or not, right? And clearly he decided to deal with it. But let me go back so we can see that again.
The last. Can I finish? I'm doing the question. This is the last question for the both of y'all. And on the count of 3, you're going to answer at the same time.
Okay.
Okay? Who wears in the relationship?
Soon as he wears the pants, you saw he removed his hand from behind her head to put it over her mouth.
One.
And then she says, I do. Because he knew that, and then at him to see whatever reaction. So they did make a note. I didn't pull that one up, but they did make a note that early on argued a lot in their relationship when they were trying to have variants. He spoke about her not necessarily always being the smiley person that you see. I forgot the other name, her middle name. He says, what's the middle name? It escapes me right now. But they become other people, not the ones that you're seeing. So there's definitely another side to them, as in most people. But he's aware. She's looking at him, and he's like, whatever. I mean, all right, whatever. But she thinks it's fun. So there's some kind of boundary or some line that clearly has been pushed throughout the years.
1, 2, 3.
Who wear the pants in the relationship? I got on pants today.
I don't like pants.
So that's the nervous moving away. Like when you realize this is what some people are saying when she said, I'm a retired husband. That was a I wear the pants move, right? Emasculating him to a survey. And so now when he tried to stop it, whether playfully or not, and she blurts it out, kind of walk it back and kind of make light of it, so it doesn't appear to be what it actually is.
What you mean you don't like pants?
As long as the job get done.
We actually rotate the pants.
So he says he doesn't care. Again, like who just said that? Some people, this is they get down, Queen T. But some people, this is what they do, right? So there's a degree of public scrutiny because they're putting it all into the public eye, right, to be seen. But at the same point, there's dynamics, individual dynamics within relationships, and what they're saying. One person wears the pants, and the next person wears the pants. But let me continue.
Because sometimes, it's sometimes I can handle certain things, and sometimes Daddy can handle certain things, which is called balance.
So when the trash don't get taken out automatically on me.
I don't think you want to trust the comment
When
on
the
that.
dishes Yeah. Oh, that's your job.
That's Troy's job.
It,
It's a balance.
yeah, it used to be a balance, and then that's when we were blessed with y'all. It would help me out, cause now I can make y'all do it. And
Battle.
pants is
So,
different. And
So that concludes.
So that concludes. We saw that what her first thought was is that it's her. She's the one who's pushing the train. She did in another time that it was her idea to move to California when he first got there. However, 15 years ago, he wanted to go. He didn't like it. So basically, even in this retirement, when someone sacrifices something for you, or you're making a sacrifice and you're promising the person that it's going to pay off, especially if it's your sibling that or your parents, I'm going to make you proud. A lot of what she's doing to me seems like, I told you, not maybe egotistically, but also relief that whatever argument may have caused or could have caused, whatever issues, whatever they went through behind the scenes, it's kind of like showing the world that, I wasn't a failure, did eventually make it. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. But let's go to another video. Let's go to another. This is for some of the people. I don't know why. It's an open book. The woman is an open book, telling all of her business. And so I don't see why we see the need to make up stuff. That's the part I don't get. Or not going to get the proper data so that we can have an informed discussion. Right? I was going to talk about another content creator we try not to do, but it perplexed me. I guess I'll come back and shout out the sister and just go over the data that she shared the other day. Gave us the information, but it seems as though you didn't go through it fully, because what you were trying to use, we use statistics. KS does this information, and we use data to kind of push the people in the direction we want them to go, and that's why some, oh, it's going to bore them too much, and then we surmise the information, we synthesize the information, and the reality is the information is not saying what we claim it was saying. Now we just doing a fact finding mission. Now we over here at another one of her Fridays, and that first video was back in 2020. This second video was July of 2020, right? So this is in dead smack in the midst of quarantine. That's what this video is, in the middle of quarantine, right? So far we saw that she thinks she wears the pants and she kind of moves like it. He's aware that there's some things. It looks like throughout the years, to keep the peace, he has given some concessions. Could be or could not be, or this could be their TV personalities. I don't know, but we can just go off of giving us right now. So now she talks about a preg scare. Listen closely.
As for the Brown family, we have reached capacity, and
we have.
chance to be two. Okay.
Wait a minute. Why is it every time I say my age, you got to try to add? I'm 40.
I know, but you finished 42.
But I'm 40.
So she's speaking for him. She's interjecting for him. We see him kind of resisting a little bit, like, yo, bro, why are you always putting the extraness on it? But basically, they were talking about how they've come to the point in their marriage where they don't want any more children. All right.
That was
But ain't nothing wrong
no,
with
but
it.
I'm 41. Like every time I say something about my age, you gotta add. Go ahead and round up.
Babe, what I'm saying is, you finna be 42 though in a couple.
Just stay on topic though. Stay on topic.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's young
Yeah,
though.
I know,
Not young enough to be starting over.
But
Okay, not for us. Okay. So anywho, my period didn't come. Freaked out a bit. Doctor told me that it was normal, and then she said the most dumb.
This is the part I talk about oversharing. They share a lot. I ain't gonna front. Exposure, and then you got overexposure, and she overexposes, and you can see his discomfort, because sometimes, even though he has the little eyes, that what you can't really see clear his eyes, you can tell he's uncomfortable in certain spaces.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard. And if you're watching Dr. Honey, this is out there. She said, but if you don't get a period next month, then we should be concerned and maybe you're pregnant. Doctor, I don't know. I need to know immediately, okay? Because I got the process. Then I had got to praying. I said, Lord Jesus, is this what part of your plan, God? Because you didn't have this in a dream.
Pause. If you're doing the booty, it's already, you didn't really have to pray, because if you was doing the booty part of the, talked about this before. This is, it's not just them. It's just the way we, the people, grown adults think. If you're doing the booty, you don't have to phone Jade to ask him if this is part of the plan, right? It's already built into the system. Do the booty, out pops a Billy if you're in that space. We have distanced ourselves from the natural workings of things for what is convenient. And for them right now, it's not start over, right? So we're going to, it's their life. You know, that's their business. That's what they say, right?
And then I told Chance, I said, babe, what if it's twins? Like, Lord Jesus. Like, I started just thinking, God, I just knew, because I ain't never missed a period unless I'm pregnant. That is the only time, okay? Nice to sleep. I won't write. Was I right back? Was I right back? Was I going through?
I could tell you was a little stressed.
Was you a little stressed?
Uh, yes.
On a jump. So they had a pregnancy scare. She goes on to talk about her being on a birth control pill for 20 something years. And now she's going to present another. And we talked about here on this show. This is why I found this very interesting. She presents a V option to him. Wait a minute, where's my time marker at, peoples? Okay, let's go ahead and jump because dinner is waiting. You heard me? I ain't trying to rush, but you understand what I'm saying? All right.
She wanted to, but she left on out as scared. However, because of the scare, and
The topic come back again.
I have asked Chance for a couple of years, off and on, I would bring up to him about him getting a vasectomy. And Chance said, some of men, I don't want to get that clip down there, you know.
No.
So she brings up vasectomy. Yeah, yes, doing the booty. That's funny, right? She brings up vasectomy again. She pushy, very what's a better word for pushy? Assertive. Okay, that's a better word. Let's use that and synonyms. She's very assertive. So she has brought this up to him in times past. Let's continue to listen.
My
That was just
my
concern.
question was, well, okay. In the beginning, I said, nah, shot that down. I'm just gonna be honest. Nah, ain't nobody put nothing down there, messing up how nothing function. One of God's blessings in a marriage.
But it don't mean it ain't gonna function.
I didn't know that. I didn't know a whole lot of men who had that procedure. I found through conversations with other men that there are a lot of men that have had this procedure. So it came back up.
Blackie was in the back like, I don't think. The dog was in the back like, I don't think so, bro. Yo, the dog started. He did the Scooby Doo at the right time. You heard me? You heard me?
Or the discussion came back up because we got a very, very inconsiderate friend,
Who
JR, who
JR
takes it upon him to share it with my wife. He had that done, so it came up again.
Oh, and
So
Jelani.
she will have a serious conversation about it. Yeah, and Jay.
Our
That's
good
a whole
friends.
nother. They. I'm revisiting this conversation. I mean, these relationships with these people.
Them your boys.
Yeah, but I'm revisiting.
They told you it was safe and effective and
Yeah,
quick.
I'm revisiting just how they introduced the conversation. I'm revisiting them relationships. That's kind of out.
They're not gonna be your friends no
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But to have a serious conversation, so we had a serious conversation about it, and I said, well, that was there's maybe 5 or 6 months ago when JR.
So she brings it up. Other people in their circle have had vasectomies. She wants to come off birth control. For those who've just joined us, welcome. I'm giving some real time data, hopefully, that can go into some of the narratives about people, and it's just a cautionary tale, really. I don't know these people, but just to see how we can have an open books test and still make up alternative facts, right? And if we can do that with somebody so open and somebody so expressive, TMI for real, like we got to know all of your business. If you can do that when the information is right here, how much so you do it when you have to dig a little, right? The imagine is something. You feel me? People over here writing those, and it's unnecessary because we're putting it into the atmosphere. We are finding ways because we may not agree. One thing the person who has done, and in this it's her, and we take it and smear it all over their person's life and relationships and all that. And that's not right. That's not right. Where are we? Okay, let's continue.
Decided he was gonna share this private
last
thing.
year.
Yeah, and her response was because she didn't want to have to be the responsible one and take the pills anymore. She had it for 20 some years.
And
so
I just don't
my
want to
thing
have
was
to keep taking a pill.
So my thing was how our that was.
Where and this is not just on one. When you look at their shows, she interjects or overspeaks with him a lot, which you can see a bit of frustration. Even he's like, he has to always reestablish his boundaries. Like, I'm speaking, it's my turn, stuff like that. It may be that she's aware or not aware or don't care. I don't know. But she, in relationship, if this was the other way around, it would be just as frustrating. As a matter of fact, let me get my oh man, I'm gonna have to do the cut. Wait a minute. Chance is gonna need one of these. Oh, where is it? He's gonna need, oh no, I didn't cut it the way I wanted to. He's gonna need one of let me finish. Hold on. I don't want to let me. I gotta get let me finish as a sound. I'm gonna get let me finish. He gonna need one of those. He gonna get like marry the ring thing. He gonna need let me finish. He need that. Cause that
Oh,
she
you
don't
just
let me
don't want
finish.
to take a pill. It ain't causing you no issues.
How do we know it ain't causing me issues?
Right. So I shut that down again.
Well, come on with it. They gotta pay the bills. They gotta pay the bills.
Clove, sneakers designed for health. They've got lightweight, all-day support.
But after this, because in my head, I just couldn't imagine.
There you go.
I was being selfish.
You was being
I ain't about to
selfish.
do that, man. I ain't about to go get that on me. It's that you don't want to be responsible.
Not be responsible, but I just felt like
that's
I've been taking
hey,
a birth control pill, which is hormones.
That's what I heard. Telling you from a male's perspective what I heard and all of that.
The selfish side of you was like, shoot, I don't want to be responsible.
No, it wasn't even about being
I want to do what I want to do.
No.
And we read that article. I think I'll link in the box talking about less than 10% of American men have vasectomies. Again, I am not advocating for this. I'm just saying their situation spoke to that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up the article or the video. But their situation speaks to that the majority of birth control contraceptive conversation usually relies on the woman. And basically what she's saying is after 20 something years, maybe you need to do something if you don't want any more children, right? People can spin this however you want to, but these are just some of the facts of their relationship.
And not have to.
Wasn't about that either.
Well, what was it?
Cutting on me.
I said, well, I go get my tube side, but the recovery time for that and with my work schedule, I can't see it.
Well, right? I didn't heard horror stories about that. So what I ended back, what I was like was, you just need to, keep taking this pill. Now we begin.
After this little scare.
Yeah, and me thinking about being in my 40s with a little dude or a little girl running around here.
Starting all over.
Nah, bruh. That ain't gonna happen.
With a 25-year-old.
Yeah, 25, 19, and 8. And then...
starting all over. I think it's safe to say the shop is closed, right?
Okay, so the shop is closed. For those who had the question, the oldest daughter that he had outside of the marriage is 25. The daughter they have is 19 and the little boy is 8. They said they're done, the shop closed, and then we're going to stop this video right here. So this seems like they're on one accord. It doesn't seem she's trying to close the shop and he's trying to stop in that respect. It doesn't sound like he wants any more responsibilities, and neither does she, and that they sacrificed their youth together, and now is the time. She says she would have a tubal ligation, but her schedule doesn't allow for it, and now is the time for to them to eat fruits or to enjoy the fruits of all of their labor over all of the time. So in this particular video, they seem to be on one accord. But for the sake of time, let's go ahead and go to the last video. I'm giving you some good information here. Only because, it's a pet peeve of mine, peoples. It is a pet peeve. It is this day and time for us to be going around making up stuff about people. And this is no cape. It's just you wouldn't want somebody to do it to you, right? And then now we have a video that says, "Did Chance get a vasectomy?" I already queued it up for you. I already queued it up. So they did a product review, and now they're going to answer the question. And this was when? This was October of last year. Okay, October of last year. So when they first did the video about the pregnancy scare, that was July. So July, August, September, October. So 3 months later, let's see what happens.
Good. Okay, you are strong and powerful and
All right.
sexy and stuff. You still all man to me, babe. Get him out of the way. I'm gonna sit him up here because I don't want you to eat all day. Go ahead, tell the people what's going on. What's the matter?
And you can see that she does this with him at the house, because even when she's on camera, she can't seem to stop himself. Like she's gonna snatch the bag because she don't want him to eat it. She whispers, "I don't want you to eat it all." Right, that he complains that she says that he tried to do something, pack the child's school lunch, and she says she can do it better. So basically, it's kind of the person who feels like nobody ever does it good enough, and therefore that they have to do it.
Nothing wrong with me. I'm good. So, how many months ago?
Huh?
Trying not to talk with my mouth full, child.
So remember about 2 months ago, so on Fridays with Tab and Chance, we talked about Chance getting a vasectomy, right? And asked y'all what y'all thought about it.
And I kind of, after doing that, the response that I got, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna talk to these people, because some of y'all got a little too personal. And some of y'all hitting me with messages talking about talk to y'all's husbands, telling me, giving me too many details. And I was like, that might not have been a good thing to do.
Well,
is to share this. However,
it's all good.
I felt the need about it for a number of reasons, because even after hushing the conversation or kind of shying away from even responding to it, I've had a lot of men come with questions that I feel like they either embarrassed or for what some or another, they don't want to talk about it with other people. So to answer probably the question that I get outside, did I do it? Yeah, I did it, right? Number one is
Chance got the vasectomy, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm about to be off birth control.
You see how she did that? Like, that's what I wanted. Look, the snip. I don't. Let me do it again.
That I get outside of did I do it? Yeah, I did it, right? Number one is
Chance got the vasectomy, y'all.
Yeah, I got it done.
I'm about to be in trouble.
She's a little bit too excited. So let me stop that right there. Greetings and welcome to those who just joined us. So basically, some facts that we have learned as we're having these discussions with Fancy is that admittedly said that she wears the pants, and he went to say he doesn't mind, and that they alternate from pants wearing. B, we have learned that reduced over time thought process. No, before that, they were engaged early on in their relationship, and he was hesitant in marrying, and eventually they did, and Yeah, the snip was everything. So that he was aware of the type of or person that she was for all these years, 20 something years. If you think back 20 something years, what and who for 20 something years? And not just like, oh, you hate the person, but you actually can show some kindness towards the person is still in this space and time. I mean, this community, yeah, that's not a small feat. So let's continue. You have to give credit where credit is due. She wears the pants. She introduced the thought process of vasectomy. He was resistant to it, and she introduced the thought process of retirement, and he was. But it seems that the way she pressures, or the way that she comes at him, or the way that did I aggressive, she was assertive, asserts herself. After a while, it looks like he complies, depending on what it was. So um, he wanted her to continue. They information, and this is part of the reason why people be all up in business. But then he tells us he did it. So these are the things that people could run tell that. These are the things they have said. They have. It's not nobody didn't go in their house and sneak out the information. These are the things that they've come on TV, on the World Wide Web, and have told. Okay, Princess Black. Imona, did you happen to see the part in the retirement video where Tabitha said, "What they stop God's blessing"? Um, oh man, which part was that? Which part was that? I did this. I didn't go all the way back and dissect. The video I did was speaking to the way I understood what's in it. When I didn't agree with her delivery. Turn around and make your husband get up. Yeah, there's some questions. There are questions. There are questions. There's a lot of questions. I'm not a lot of questions. What I am saying is questioning. They're not coming with the facts that are like open book tests. You know what I mean? But I would are. I think I guess in this experiment video, the blessings may be monetarily, it may be success wise, right? Um, People say, blessings are this. So if they're waiting for this part to be blessed, I guess she thinks they've already been blessed with children and offspring, and this is the to be blessed in another way. But that retirement video, similarly uncomfortable in that video as well. So in the same way he was uncomfortable with the vasectomy. So she's smiling from ear to ear. She carried a lot of the responsibility for not bringing forth children, which is a responsibility, behaviors that are supposed to. But again, that's their personal business that they seem to want to make public. I would watch sharing so much due to interior map. I would watch, yeah, I would be careful with that. People, I don't know. But again, as you say, success takes a level of either going to be what you sacrifice or who you sacrifice. And just from observing what she's doing, she's sacrificing their privacy, right? So be overly exposed to the people. So move through and earn in the hearts of the people, right? That's what I'm seeing. And then it was the middle of the rant. It's yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that add God to it. Princess Black, I agree. And there's a lot of people who hold, you know what I mean? And we think that thing when in actuality they're saying another. And like I said, these shows are public. She has been doing quite some time. It's nothing that she hid. And she understands because she wanted to be an actress. She understands this space, understands that the landscape has changed. Social media is the way in which many aspiring actors, and in her case, a long time is to get to where they're going. So she just, and in doing so, instead of acting out roles or acting out, whatever, it has to bring forth this information, family, and expose herself in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think the vasectomy, I think it's OD, but it does remind what we shared. There was a video that we shared before about birth control. We read statistics about stigma behind vasectomies. Anybody remember that? I have to go back and look for that one. I have to go back and look for that one. But that's kind of what I wanted to share to add to the conversation. Let me see if I missed any comments. when it comes to marriage, I think nobody knows. The only person who knows true faith is the marriage. Yeah, I mean, thank you, thank you. I mean, yeah, the only person who really knows is the people who are in it. But in this particular case, she brought us, right? And I, like for my understanding, why you overshare and overexpose yourself on YouTube or even in social spaces is either going to bring, okay, let's do the social media thing. Either you're going to create music, right? Or you're going to create art, some craft. You're going to do information type information. You're going to do inspirational type information. Or you're going to do like family blogging, personal blogs. So she approached it in a personal blog space. And because now all of the family members from the cast of her show, they make appearances. So somebody may want to hear what the husband has to say. Somebody, you may get fans who, oh man, her dog is on. Oh my goodness, her daughter, I love. You're gonna touch. She has all of these touch points because the cast members are her family members, right? She builds the shows around these things. The young comes in where you don't have a limit, and you can tell that he wants to kind of limit you, but you to a certain degree won't allow yourself to, right? So you say things that are overly like just oh, it's just like too much, too much, too much. Um, Anybody have any questions or comments, feel free to share at this time. Hopefully that we were able to learn and grow together because I was here and I was like, on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sometimes I'm just passing by some of these panels, and I try to type when I can. It becomes like, you're chasing behind the rabbit in a certain way, because when you have a certain thought processes, it kind of is what it is. But I would caution us all as we have these conversations on and off screen, is that the energy we put out is the energy that comes back. And so if we don't give people the benefit of the doubt, if we don't do our due diligence, if we make up blank spaces that we don't know, chances are that people are going to return and lend that same energy. I think John asked me when I was going to talk about, Nasha says she think, let me know when you thought she was on point, sis. Let me know what part of the conversation you thought she was on point. Because what happened to me is like so many different points are being made, so many different narratives are being spun, and some of it is not factual. Therefore, for those people who have kind of been paying a little bit of attention, you're like, wait a minute, that's not, so we don't understand, but we fill in the blank here and there. You know what I mean? And that can be dangerous. The other, Sakari, I did one video on her. She's gonna sit out for the, you know, she's 21. I'll just say this in short. She's 21. She has a lot to learn. Prayerfully, she gets the help that she needs to. The young girl is grieving. So no matter no amount of worldly accomplishments, nothing can replace a parent, right? So it's interesting that most of the world wants her to be in a space where she's going to entertain, number one, like these human accomplishments that we proud of. But in reality, she's a soul who has just lost the very being that brought her forth into the earth. She needs to take time to sit her little self down and get the help she needs for, because right now she's grieving, and get the grief counseling that she needs and get the tools to make her way this part of her life. I think that she'll come back bigger and stronger and better if that is what. Because a lot of athletes, just positions, the success in that space is all they have, right? It overcompensates for all of the other deficits. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people try to highlight in Kevin Samuels or Azad Ali conversation, is that sometimes people, not just men or women, both, put all of the weight situation that we can exceed in, so that it overcompensates either for lack of family or lack of support or wherever other issues or lacking in, because I succeed in in the melanated community that happens, and it's off. Because you succeed in this, then we won't look at all of this other stuff. So if she would go to the Olympics right now, that's not going to bring her mother back. That's not going to bring this time back, right? All it's going to do is even make you feel more isolated and more alone, because the people are not even really seeing you and seeing your pain. They're just seeing monetary gain, or accolades, or things that's going to boost. Just my thoughts, right? So it's not a popular decision for many what she did. It shows, like the young woman said, her humanity, and just shows that sometimes doing the soul work, hopefully that's what she do, unless she bun more ganja, I don't know, because I don't know her. But doing what needs to be done, needs to be done. I was amazed how the Black community abused her. Oh, the young girl. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinions, again, because of how we think about one another. Remember, we're coming from a space in a community where you succeeding in the world is more important. Just keep anything else that's happening, right? And that, just keep going. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. Don't worry about that. To where you're going, you're like, well, now I'm alone. I mean, now I'm broken, and I have all the. It's like the artists with all of their Emmys, or all of their Oscars, or all of their what's the Grammys? Or they're sitting there empty in a bathrobe. You know what I'm saying? Sipping on whatever they're sipping on, popping pills. It's like what on here? So that's my thoughts on the matter. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. It's doing well. I pray everybody have a blessed day. Let's try to keep it clean, John. Let's try to keep it clean. John, I would say there's a lot on with different content creators. Like I said, time to time, I have my thoughts. Most oftentimes I hold them, but then sometimes we go to certain levels. Come on now. Come on now. You know what I mean? Come on now. But I am gonna come back probably sometime this weekend about another sister who put up some statistics about whether or not women are happier now. Whether or not women are happier now, and she's about so-called Black women being less happy, or women in general being less happy. And over that, and there's something you could think about: are women happier? Feminist movement, through more access to education, through more access to finance. Is she happier now, or satisfied? Was she happier being a housewife? Are housewives in other countries more happier? Because I told the sister, I was like, yo, all the housewives in other countries are happier. I'm like, I don't know about that. It depends on who you're asking, right? It depends on who you ask, who's asking, and what's the context for them asking. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Oh, I talked the whole time with this one. I was supposed to have it. I'm slipping, man. I am slipping. I am all the way slipping. Yeah, babe. Just go ahead and run a commercial, and then we gonna work out.
This episode is sponsored by Yummy Curry Powder. Go on over to www.theyummycottage.com for your powder today.